Good morning, good morning, good morning. I can also say good evening, good afternoon, good night to the various folks in the various time zones around the world. Chris Collins is wondering what happened to Socrates. It's 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. They thought it was taking a siesta. No. Anyway, want to say good morning once again to all of our listeners and viewers out there in radio and, on the online stream. Welcome to another episode or presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, presenter of this program, and I have with me in the studio a very special guest. What we'll do first, though, is go downtown, give credit to our sponsors, without whom this program will not be possible, and then we'll be right back.
Are you ready for the summer? Need a plan like no other. Stay connected when you're on the go.
Sign up for internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
It's October, and the TDC Home and Building Depot has gone pink in support of breast cancer awareness. Shop in-store or online for our pink tag specials with up to 75% off selected items. And be sure to look out for our Flash Sales Fridays, where you get even more savings. Plus, every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m., our team of health professionals will be in-house, offering free breast screening and the chance to win a free mammogram. So this October, remember to think pink. Think TDC Home and Building Depots. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
It's approximately 7 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. It's Monday, the 30th day of November. One more day, and we kick. No. This is October still, right? Then we kick out October and introduce November, and tomorrow's Halloween. The question is, are we going to celebrate Halloween? Anyway, want to say good morning to Rosemary Donald up there. She was saying she was enjoying the presentation of the young folks on the whole money matters thing, and it's from what I gather, it was a very tremendous program. And as the gentleman said, they're going to be back again to discuss more of that in that level. So once again, guys, we are here to present another episode of Voices, and then we have in the studio with us, riding shotgun today, a person who always make his contribution via the telephone, and I've invited him several times to come in the studio, sit and chat. He has an issue with that, but I was able to twist his arm, and he promised me about 2 weeks ago he will come and sit with us and say hi, hello, and present in person some of the philosophies and just present. Let me first have him introduce himself, okay? I know his name, anyway, but talk to us. Good morning, welcome to the studios of WINNMedia.
And thanks for having me, Socrates, and it's been a long time coming. I'm here now, so I'm assure you, the general public, that I will do justice to matters pertaining to us. First, some housekeeping. I wish to thank the Public Works Department first of all, my name is Africa. You would have recognized me by the voice, soft tone voice. So I'm up to the mic. And yes, so I wish to thank the Public Works Department for some works that they've been doing. We have been advocating for such. It's obvious. You drive down Bass State today in the circus, the epicenter of our city, and there has been some little repairs here and there. Also at the Southeast Peninsula, I have been vocal, advocating for such works as a former member of the SCELEC Board of Directors. I have advocated for better visual in terms of the lighting because of my personal experience going over there, 1 o'clock in the morning at the British Airways. And so I say, well, let my voice be heard and when it comes to these matters.
You're speaking about the drive from downtown over the Southeast Peninsula at nights?
Yes, but more so, it's like twofold. On the paved road all the way, smooth surface, I would get commendation from my guests that our road surface is par excellence. And yes, but the overgrown, that's a problem. But when you get off from Spice Mill going towards Reggae Beach, the water taxi, that was very deplorable. And they have resurfaced other roads. You will find Millionaire Street. They have taken that asphalt and have poured it over there, which is, a better drive. But it's raining now, and from time to time, it has to be maintained to be up to the standard. I have realized they are listening, and according to William Ruto of Kenya, they are listening. They are listening to us. And as we advocate for a better way of life in St. Kitts and Nevis to enhance our product, we shall continue to speak.
That section of road that you speak to, is it private or public land?
Well, you will notice from time immemorial, there was a hotel. You can see the structure down there.
Casablanca.
Casablanca,
Yes.
right, thanks.
But the stretch of drive that you're speaking about, because we're in somewhat a very rainy season, and when from time to time, you would have the graders go there and sort of grade it out, but it can't be surfaced because the land is not owned by the government.
Agreed.
And so the private operators who operate on the beaches, they do their best to maintain it, because we do take guests for them, and they have to appreciate the damage done to a vehicle when you drop in those potholes.
Agree.
So while you give kudos to Public Works for the tourism department actually for recognizing the need for providing that ease of comfort in driving, is not something I can say, well, this particular person or others to blame for. Everybody shares the maintenance of the thing. So kudos to Public Works for stepping up, but there are times when it's raining, we anticipate that level of discomfort in terms of the potholes, especially when it's raining.
Yes, it ought to be a collaboration with the public and private sectors because, well, you asked the question if that's private space. I think it's private space to be developed in the future.
The issue I have with that is the overgrowth on the road, the side of the road in the area of the pavilion. In driving there, because apart from the heavy rains from this season, that problem persisted since last year. You're driving, you have to drive almost in the center of the road to avoid your vehicle being scratched by the overgrowth of the shrubbery. That should have been addressed some time ago. We're starting on the tourism season. I'm not sure. You've been over there recently. Have it been addressed?
Just this morning. No, it has not. And there are mechanisms, there are machineries that can do the job. I know a gentleman who has a machine that will do a good job at that. So, why not source those machineries? It comes with money, but that's what they budget for, I suppose.
The alternative is just wrong. Because if you're driving over there, especially at night, you can't see exactly how far so you're driving over the dividing line in the middle of the road to avoid being scratched. You're facing oncoming traffic. There is a problem with that. You have to get your vehicle scratched or stop because it's narrowing since last year. And this should have been addressed, especially as we anticipate starting a new cruise ship season. We had a ship in port, 2 days ago?
Yes.
And there's one to do Tomorrow. So these concerns that we now speaking about should have been addressed a long time ago without any excuse from anybody.
Agree. You know, you need not to look further. Just go across Sandon Road, the Bay Road, and go on Port Zante, where the big temporary, because it's private space, is going to be developed. But you see that big ocean right in the middle of the arrival to our visitors, where the taxis park on that side over there. It is an ocean. Water.
Okay, I see what you mean. With the water settles there?
Yes. I think some gravel should have been spread there to really allow a level instead of that deep slope, you know, ocean.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that said, can I go into what my assignment is for today?
Please.
Okay, thanks. As always, I have something like what I always present. I have a little group, and I always send my members with old adages, you know, from the past. So I'm going to read something, and then we'll go right on into. And it pertains to us, to what we are, who we are, what we are trying to regain as a people who was lost, but not totally lost. But we need to rewrite our story. You have heard me talk about rewriting the story. As a tour guide, I take it with passion. And as I do tour, one will jump out at me, like, for instance, you had a guy, John, who was here the other day with Jamster, and he touched on some things with the bloody point. But down at the Carabel Boutique, there were Teguaman, and his title was Cacique Teguaman, not King Teguaman. So the proprietor for that business, that place there, when you're going to rewrite the board, I want to see Cacique. Bestow on him his due title, and not king. A king is a king, cool, but the Cacique was the title of King Teguaman.
What was it? What did it designate?
It speaks about on the board as you go.
No. You say it wasn't king. King was the name given because of the English adaptation.
Yeah.
But what does the name mean?
Well, in that aspect, but in terms of the culture, that was the title that was befitting the name.
That's what it was. Did it mean chief? You know, what did it mean?
Yes. Well, we have different names. You have Kandake queens. You have, you know, royals of different names. So we just want to bestow the correct name in terms of the linguistic expression on him.
Okay. But what I was trying to get to is what the name actually mean. What it mean leader? Did it mean monarch in the
king,
culture?
Chief, king, chief.
Okay.
You know, the same equivalent, but that's the name. You know, we just want to do that. So I shall go into this. To uncover the pages of African, our story, not his story, through the rubble of New World systematic religious repression is like peeling an onion. The more you remove, the more you cry. And those of us who are going to the kitchen and cook, we know how the rime from the onion, when it gets in your eye, it causes your eyes to get teary and watery.
Well, I can't cook, so I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
But it's the type of rubble that is on our story that trying to remove it is not an easy experience. It brings emotion at times. So this is the gist I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Any particular time frame, any particular events you want to address and highlight? Or you just want to generalize?
Well, I want to read, just want to read from where it all started in my, and I will say to you, my opinions, they're going to be unpopular. My perspective is going to be very unpopular, but nevertheless, we have the earnest to really speak about the unpopular opinions and perspectives. And so, it was taken from the Talmud. The Talmud is a Jewish document that they hold very dearly, similar to the Masoretic texts, the Septuagints, the different texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls. But this was taken from, and the Jews had the monopoly on things because back in that day, they had the wherewithal in terms of the scribes. They did a lot of writing. They had access to a lot of the documentaries in the Alexandria Library. And this is what they said. And it is what was reframed. It was in the Catholic, the Roman Catholic Church has revised it. It is still in the Mormon Church. It is still in the Lutheran Church and other churches that they said the way it is written. And I'm reading from what was written. It is in the Genesis. The myth of the story of the 3 sons of Noah and what us Africans are today, according to the story. Okay, just a second, let me. Okay. I read. Now, it cannot beget the 4th son, whose children would have ordered to serve you and your brothers. Therefore, it must be Canaan, your firstborn, whom they enslave. And since you have enabled me, doing ugly things in blackness of night, Canaan's children shall be born ugly and black. Moreover, because you twisted your head around to see my nakedness, your grandchildren's hair shall be twisted and kink. Sounds familiar? And their eyes red. Again, because your lips justed at my misfortunes, their lips shall swell. And because you neglected my nakedness, they shall go naked. And their male members shall be shamefully elongated. Men of this race are called Negroes. Their forefathers Canaan commanded them to love theft and fornication, to be banded together and hatred for their masters, and never to tell the truth.
This is found, you say, in the Talmud?
In the Talmud, T-A-L-M-U-D.
Does this lend any credibility to what you're saying? You're speaking about the African race. Is this trying to justify whatever experience we'd have gone through? Is this accepted as fact?
Yes.
By whom?
For the simple fact that even to today, they have seen black people as heirs of wood and carriers of water.
Who are the they?
From the religious writing all the way down, it is said that Noah's son, Ham, was the one who was cursed. Canaan was the one who was cursed, and this curse permeated all generations down to this very day.
So am I to accept that people of my race, this is supposed to be our accepted lot? So we allow the world to walk over us, do us what they wish, steal from us, enslave us, and it's no big deal because it's in the Talmud, and this is our lot for the rest of our existence. I don't accept that.
You don't accept it.
People can write what they want and give it whatever, I won't say interpretation, authority. So it's in the Talmud, it's in the Quran, it's in this. I'm not taking that. I refuse that. Right? The natural state of man is to be free. What is happening now in the so-called Middle East to the Palestinian, those are war crimes. And those people are like, to some extent, what was happening in Africa with apartheid. They would fight it and protest, and they will be labeled terrorists for saying that you're mashing my corn. I don't like it. You were labeled terrorist, this, that, the same to Mandela. Now in Palestine, the occupier is being told that they have the right to defend themselves. But the occupied are labeled as a people who are just criminals and they're terrorists and they're nonsense. So are you saying now that whatever is written about a people, they should just accept it as a fate? Nah. I'm a fan of... Huh? Let's take a call. I'm getting on my stomach here. Good day, caller, 11 voices.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and good morning to your guests.
Yes, African house.
Morning.
Now, let us consider, right, that all that we are taking from is written in books by men. Everything that we are taking from is written by man. Man have wrote everything in a book. Now, by asking the question, who gave man the right to determine, or what gave a race of people the right to come up with laws to govern people? More specifically, who gave any race the authority to determine how people should live? By saying that, you can also ask the question, who gave any man the authority to sell man land? We all came at land, but who gave man the authority to sell land? The laws of nature are there for all of us. So again, I'll ask, who gave man the authority to set laws that man should be governed by? Now, everything that we are discussing, most of us gravitate to a book. And you know what book I'm referring to. There are those who know other books, but all things were written by man, and they tell us that this is the infallible word of God. I've stated before, what we have is the word of God in the word of man. The question becomes now, is God man or is man God? Because there might be a supreme being. Now, I cannot say who created cosmology, the universe. I can't say who did all that. But who created what we are governing by? Man have created man. In the totality of creation, man create man in divine feminine, divine masculine. A set of people told us that what is written in a book.
You just said man created man? Is that what you just said?
Yes, the king, by divine feminine and divine masculine. You and your wife create your offspring.
We're talking about offspring. We're talking about
creation. Hello?
In the context of offspring, that's different. But we say man create man. We're talking about the original man.
Well, yes, and the totality of that creation is to continue because the standard was set from the beginning. Divine feminine, divine masculine. Mother, father, and child. Now, a set of people told us, are you asking me something?
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, the thing is, right, we gravitate to this book, and this book told us that it was Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Father, Son. Note that I said to you earlier, it is divine feminine, mother, father, and child. So therefore, it means, to me, my understanding is that mother, father, and child can be daughter or a son. But we gravitate to Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So let us analyze and let us take a look deeper into the totality of creation. Everything is a duality. In plant life, well, no, never mind plant life. In animal life, in birds and in fish, everything in the totality of creation is divine feminine and divine masculine. I didn't say divine woman and divine man. Divine feminine and divine masculine. That's the totality of creation. So again, who could give a race of people to determine that this is the way that humanity should go by?
Okay.
That's my question. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you for sharing. And I think we need to pause at this point to give credit to our sponsors. Okay? We'll be right back.
Found the Sound 98.9.
Campari, grapefruit, easy for we. Brother, he no hard it. Easy fi we Campari, he no come. Easy fi we. Brother he no hard it. Easy fi we. Had the Campari with the grapefruit soda. That easy, bitter had the pre. Simple mixer, easy 1-3. Campari grapefruit, that easy fi we. Fi mix a Campari grapefruit. Add 1 part Campari to 3 parts grapefruit soda. Drink at the bar, on the beach, or when the girl reach. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Are you ready for the summer? Need a plan like no other. Stay connected when you're on the go.
Sign up for internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
50,000?
50,000.
$50,000? Win big with TDC. Win up to $50,000 cash in the TDC Mega Rewards Mega Raffle. To enter, you must be a Mega Rewards member or sign up to TDC Mega Rewards Loyalty Program. Shop at our TDC retail stores or online at shoptdcgroup.com to receive 1 entry for every $250 spent. Draws take place from July to November. Win $10,000 every month with your entry rolled over so you can win, and win even more.
Yes, this is 50.
Terms and conditions apply.
Saying good morning once again to our viewers and listeners out there. My name is Socrates, host of today's program, presentation of Voices. Your back is still in the camera. Okay, we have with us today in studio, we have Africa, and he did send me some questions which I didn't get a chance to go into. So I'm going to have him make more of his presentation, and I'll try to respond accordingly. But that topic about we were made this way and supposed that I totally reject that. Okay? So whoever want to write what, and I know that is not how I think the world is supposed to go. And people find excuses and rationales in books to justify their inhumanity to mankind. I'm not buying that. But go ahead.
Okay, so on that premise, we see that the religious documents that came down to us, and we knew it to be what they call it, they coin it, it's a phrase they coin, the Judeo-Christian Bible.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the two words, the compound, Judeo-Christian. So therefore, it was the Jews first before the Christians. And now it has gone into the Judeo-Christian Islamic. Okay? Because you reference the war, in which I don't wish to go into. But there are some religious tones behind the war. Started with one of the United States representatives talking about his Jewish heritage.
Is it Henry Kissinger?
No, recently.
More recent.
Yes. I'm one of those guys. And the reply was from Erdogan, I think he's the president
Turkey.
of Turkey, that he gonna defend his Muslim rights, or,
True, it's his heritage, yes.
So this is where it all started. Now, throughout all that religious usurpation and supremacy, fight for dominance, we were the ones who got caught up in it, right? And we supposed to always take side this way or take side that way. But when it comes to us, no one takes our side.
Precisely.
Huh? So that is what I'm trying to get at. But at the same time, we read their book for the guidance, our guidance.
We read their book for our guidance?
Yes, the Judeo-Christian Bible. It's something that we don't leave our houses without reading a verse. Where do the verse originate from? Mm-hmm. That is the thing. Because if you look deep, like I say, removing the rubble, you will find that it was our mothers. And I said to you, Socrates, that we came across these waters intact with the spirits of our ancestors, those who signed the covenant with the Most High. And for the fact that we came across waters, it made it better. We all took a shower this morning, right? Right. So water is so essential to our life. Water is
It's a cleanser.
yes,
I'm
one
trying
of
to
the
get
four
correlation,
elements. Okay? So that is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from that our mothers, especially our sisters, our mothers, they need to assume their responsibilities.
One of the things that affected mothers on the plantation, no mother wanted to see her offspring, her children, her child punished. So they were instrumental in telling the children to obey. Do not follow Nat Turner. Do not follow people who are talking about protests, etc. They didn't want to see their child. They themselves would go out and do things, but they wanted to protect their children. And so it was part of the plantation culture to use the mothers to get the kids to toe the line. Now we speak about in reverence to some extent about Sunday school. How we went to Sunday school and we were taught discipline, we were raised a certain way. People don't see that as part of the indoctrination, where you're told to accept certain things without question. You're supposed to accept by faith and believe. But you're questioning yourself, if all this is supposed to be right and just and right, how come they don't address the atrocities being poured out on the people? We're supposed to be Christians, lovers, followers of the gospel, etc., because we taught them from Sunday school. But when we see what those same people, those leaders, those Christians do to people, especially of my race, you have to question, but you're told don't question. So, go ahead.
You use a word there, indoctrination.
Indoctrination.
What do you think that was the intent of the Holy Bible?
Definitely.
To indoctrinate us? Not
Yes.
only that, that was the first that was the first approach to education.
Moses came off the Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments. What's that supposed to tell you? Follow these. If not, you're heathen, you're this, you're that.
But some would disagree with you because it's a good moral, the 10 Commandments, which was taken from others. But some would disagree with you with applying the word indoctrination towards admonition.
I understand that because you're going to Sunday school, those were forced down your throat. Right? And at the same time, the people who were telling you have to, they were infringing. So you have to question. I'm not saying that they're not good morals. But when you look at the history as to where they were taken from, they were plagiarized.
I agree with you.
They were plagiarized and given to us in a context that really is just manifesting brainwashing.
I agree with you when you use the word there. It's just that for the status quo, the way the system was designed, they would have preferred that you use the word admonition as opposed to indoctrination.
I'm a rebel. I think for myself. I'm a fan of Nat Turner. Because if people like Nat Turner didn't reject that, you have what you're being taught. You're supposed to follow. It's in the Bible. Slave, obey your master. Your natural state as a human being is to be free. Your system rejects that. Your system rejects that. What's happening in Palestine? They're fighting for the very existence of freedom. You have an occupier occupying their land from 1967, right? Have been slaughtering them. And every time they respond, they label terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist group, this, that. If you mash my corn, I have to react. But we went through 400 years of that. And a lot of the people who are talking today in Europe, as a matter of fact, let's take our Mandela situation. This mighty America accepted that Mandela was a terrorist. Margaret Thatcher, Dick Cheney, and those guys refused to sign on to take him out of prison because he was a terrorist. You understand? And this is the mighty America we look up to, Margaret Thatcher, this, that. The same thing is happening now in Palestine. It's just their turn. It's just their turn. While the world will stand by and watch it. Because them same people, they control the U.S. press, they control the Congress, and they control the banks. And if you, Africa, here saying anything against the Jews or the Israelites, they'll fire you. You're banned. You're labeled this and that and that. I don't care. I do not care. Wrong is wrong. Right is right.
I try not to really get too much into that conflict
Well,
at the
stay
moment
with- stay with-
because
stay- stay with the topic.
I'm gonna tell you, if I was to make a comment on it, it would go deep, and a lot of us ain't ready for it.
Would it take away tax lesson?
No, not quite, but that space called Palestine, right? There is a little tiny remnants there, a tiny remnants, which they would come under the label Bedouins. Okay?
Bedouins.
Right. There was a little tiny remnants that they said they didn't come there. They was always there. They have their deeds for their lands and everything like that. Prior to 1948, even prior to even those the Palestinians, it is as a result of a lot of conquests why you find those two factions that are there now. For instance, Jerusalem wasn't always spelled with a J. And if we go back to the list of nations in Genesis, I want to get to that because the list of nations in Genesis, Israel was no way around. Not the Israel today. The Israel that was written in the Bible as a group of people who came out from Egypt. They was not always known as or called Israel. They was known as Ephraim. But Ephraim is English. And the etymology of words morphed over time, and it was Ephraim. The word Ephraim means to secede, to break away from to come out from a larger group. A smaller group coming out from a larger group. Similar to how Sinkis Nevis and Anguilla used to be, and Anguilla seceded. That is what the word Ephraim, the etymology, the root word Ephraim really means. Right? So Jerusalem and the Jebusites, one of the cursed Canaan children, their lands was taken away from them. But if you trace the whole migration, you will have to go all the way to Nigeria. The Ijebu people, their neighbors to the Yorubas. They were the one there under some leader they call Melchizedek of that sort, where Melchizedek met Abraham and so forth. So it has some connotation, some biblical connotation, but tracing the people all the way to Nigeria, you will find that the Ijebu people was traced out. As conquest come down, the people ran into Africa, into the inner tier of Africa. Persons who was living far up, because all of those spaces was black spaces, all the way up into Turkey. Have you heard about the 7 churches in the book of Revelation?
No, I have not.
It wasn't no 7 churches. They took on the label churches from the Judeo-Christian morphation, the morphing from the Jews to the Christians, and the Christians. It spoils. They took the spoils of other civilizations that was there. I even I read to you about that Israel was nowhere. When it comes to the Masoretic text, when it comes to the Septuagint, or the LXX, as it is called, when it comes to the Dead Sea Scrolls, 2 of them is incompatible. 2 of them agree, whereas the Masoretic text does not agree, where it says Israel, the sons of Israel, as opposed to the sons of God, or the sons of the Elohim. Okay? So, in the Bible, you're reading the Bible, but you have to have the vision. You have to have the foresight. You have to have that innate, ability to understand it. I doesn't negate the Bible, but as for this piece that I read earlier, that is what was watered down and came into our book. We read it, the book, the curse, and who is bearing the curse today. Can you imagine the Democratic Republic of the Congo, by value, is the richest piece of real estate on the earth, but yet is the people are the poorest? That was by design.
That was due to greed. That was due to racism. That was due to miseducating the world.
And
because there was a time
that
that it was prestigious to be found in the company of Africans.
And
when it became convenient for the Church of Rome, and I forgot the name of the Pope there, when he told them to go out and Christianize all heathens, he gave them license to go out and slaughter people and take their land, change their religion, and create this false narrative that we embrace today. And every time you so-called transgress that, you become this person or that person. I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that any one race was designated as superior to the other, inferior to the other. One is cursed, one is blessed. I am not accepting that. Who want to write that and make it a religion and all that? They're not talking to I. And people of conscience.
Speaking about the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, if you do an analysis, you will find that it's really businessmen, persons from that space that we're talking about here, Jewish persons, business guys, businessmen of the Israeli nation are the ones who have some of the real minds that are there. And it just the other day
who supports them?
The West, because all of these commodities are on the stock markets. The New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, the Turkey Stock Exchange.
It's about
it's all
greed
there.
and wanting to control the properties of others. So you put your satellite government in place to protect your interests, to suppress Iran and Iraq and Saudi Arabia, because without them and without Israel at the checkpoint, so you can fund your military campaign, it's a satellite army. And so they allow them to do what they want. Right? Do you know that at one point the Jews controlled Nevis? You know that?
Yes.
There is a Jewish cemetery found in Nevis. They can't find one here in St. Kitts. And the conflict that still exists today between St. Kitts and Nevis, that rancor, it took place because of the Jews. When the Crown decided to annex Nevis to St. Kitts, they protested because they were the richest and did not want to be governed by St. Kitts. So they started the St. Kitts Nevis thing, because Nevis was a peasantry, and the folks owned the land, whereas here in St. Kitts was a plantocracy. The folks in Nevis, the workers, the enslaved, took the sides of the Jews. And so it was St. Kitts, Nevis, that rancor was started by them because they controlled. Nevis was the richest in the region. We accept that. But it's all part of what they do. And we boast that they're blessed. We take a phone call. With the caller 11 voices. With the caller 11 voices.
Yes, of course. Thanks for taking the call. I was waiting for a while, but I thought that I should call because I realized you're in Africa talking very loud. I want to ask you two questions and maybe make a comment. But the first question, do you believe in God? The God of the universe that we know as Jehovah God in heaven. Do you believe in him?
I believe in a supreme being. Maybe not the one that was given to me.
When you say a supreme being,
you understand English?
Jehovah God. You're saying you don't believe in God? That's what you're saying?
I believe in a supreme being, maybe not the one that you want to give me.
Okay, all right. Do you believe in inspiration?
Of course.
Okay. Well, the God we're talking about inspired man, and these are special men to write the Bible. But God, the Bible, God say he himself write the 10 Commandments. with his own finger. He didn't inspire
Did he tell you that?
nobody to write that part of it. The Bible.
Did
That's
he
the
tell
only
you
thing in
that?
The Bible that God writes. And the rest of it, he inspired men to write the rest. Now, outside of the 10 Commandments, you will find all kind of bad things happen. The 10 Commandments constitute the fruit of the Spirit in terms of righteous living. All that you see even happening now, the same men them that God inspired to write, they tell you in such a time like now, because we as Christians believe that we are in the end of time, Earth's history. And the Bible tells you wars, rumors of wars, famines, earthquakes, in different places, which is called diverse places. And when we see these things, he said to look up because our redemption giant nigh, which is near. So I am saying to you, and all the other people who are listening, and whoever else think that they're so educated, take heed, because God said in the Bible as well, the commandments would make the wise to be simple. They are for our learning, to edify us. So when people want to use the different psychological, academical background and collaboration to incite on whatever they want to say, if they do not follow the 10 Commandments, they would be outside of the realms of God. That is what I would like to say. So when they ask him to give man authorization to put laws to govern man, where there is no sin, and if there is sin still, then it means that there must be a law. All these laws of the federation and the nation around the world, they take them from the same 10 Commandments, except for one, which is the Sabbath keeping. A lot of them do. Well, the Jews, they actually keep the Sabbath. They believe in the Sabbath. And we, as Kittians and Caribbean people and European people, once you accept Christ and accept the 10 Commandments, you become the spiritual Jew. Because even the same Bible, and Jesus himself said, because if you believe in Jesus, he himself says that salvation is of the Jews, meaning they must first know it and then pass it on to the other nations. So, in a simple nutshell, try to understand and obey the 10 Commandments of God. It will help you to gain eternal life. And anybody else who's hearing me, that's the best I could tell you right now. So, thanks for listening and thanks for broadcasting that much, which I just said. It would help a lot of people, I believe. You have a great day.
And thank you very much for your contribution. Well, we got about 7 minutes up to thing. Let's take a station break and we'll come back. Right.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Are you ready for the summer? Need a plan like no other. Stay connected when you're on the go.
Sign up for internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
It's TDC for me, TDC for we. Neighbor, partner, your family. The best is yet to come, believe me. Moving forward, moving with. Hey, TDC serve the nation with the best customer experience. TDC, you are the one for we. Happy anniversary. Together we succeed, building on strong community, pressing on part to one destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah, yeah. Right now a Magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a magnum. My life, I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
At 11:54, we are back with Voices, and we have with us in the studio today Africa, and he bought a big book, some information to share with us. So, the mic is yours, sir. Go ahead.
I'm reading from my phone, really. The caller just now, he did not really mention me in terms of directing his question or his comments. But for his information, caller, if you're listening, if you have to read Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 8 and 9, and I'm going to read from the Masoretic text, which came down to our King James Version. And it reads, because he mentioned Jehovah or Yahweh. Jehovah and Yahweh, it's just a play on words. But it was the YHWH. Okay? All the others are, it have the consonants and they have the vowels. And these vowels was taken from another when you're referring to God's name. Deuteronomy 32, verses 8 and 9, the Masoretic text reads, when Elion gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided all the sons of men, he set boundaries of the people according to the number of the sons of Israel. For Yahweh's portion was his people. Jacob was the lot of his inheritance. So therefore Yahweh was allotted to Jacob, to Israel, by the Most High, which Socrates said, the Most High. He did not prescribe a name. The caller prescribed the name Yahweh or Jehovah. So the Most High gave portions to all the people. But Israel was nowhere here in Genesis chapter 10. According to the Bible, when, the disbursement of the nations and the Babel Tower and all the nations went all over the place from speaking one language, and you go there and this person go there and here. This is your guidance. This is your protection for your space and the space of Israel, which Israel wasn't here. I'm going to use Israel for the sake of discussion. Yahweh or Jehovah was given to Israel. But let me read the Septuagint. And the Septuagint, it was another translation because the Bible have many translations. And the Septuagint say, when the Most High, as Socrates said, divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set boundaries of the nations according to the number of the angels of God. And his people, Jacob, became the portion of the Lord. Israel was the line of his inheritance. So I read from the Septuagint just now, and I read from the Masoretic text. So it's a conflict here. But the point I'm trying to make, Yahweh seems that Yahweh wasn't the Most High, but Yahweh was a confluence of the Elohims, or it was a pantheons of deities. This one says angels, like Michael and Gabriel over there, and Michael gone north and Uriel gone south and all of that. This is how Yahweh was here. Some other deity was there protecting that nation, and so forth and so forth. Let the caller come back in.
So it wasn't the one omnipotent God?
Yes, but the one omnipotent God don't get in things like a prime minister would not get in the portfolio of the Marsha Henderson, because her portion was allotted to her as a minister of tourism. The prime minister doesn't get into her affairs. She's competent enough to take care of tourism, resurfacing the road, as we are calling for, and so forth, because it's a hierarchy.
We got about a minute before we wrap things up before the midday news. Not a theologian.
I'm not either.
And there are times when...
But I'm not stupid.
there are times when we get into all this theology, and it's decided because I'm not versed in that.
Yes.
Right? But I know that there's been so much information about what we were taught, how we are to behave, that when you seek to re-educate yourself, that you ought to not accept everything blindly. You get into conflict with people who are already indoctrinated to a degree that they will not accept the even remote possibility that there are other entities out there, because you're told you shall have no other God but me.
Yes.
There had to be a reason for that, because there are other gods. I'm not claiming anyone.
Yes.
I say I worship. I didn't say worship, but I acknowledge there's a higher power. But dare no man tell me which one it should be, because what they were told in the King James Version, on this King James Version. At this point in time, we do have to break for the Win FM's midday newscast. And the time we got off of my stop.
Yes, want to say one last thing?
Newscast, we got to break for this. It's time for the news. So when we get back, right? So we take it down, Jamster, and we give our credit to our sponsors for news time.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With the Win FM headline news, I am Yulana Weeks. Locally, a burial of time capsule forms part of ECCB's 40th anniversary celebration. Keandre Weeks delivers inspiring valedictory speech at UE graduation. The details and more straight ahead. In commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank ECCB, a Creative Arts and Islands Night Festival was held on the grounds of ECCB's campus on Saturday night, October 28, 2023. The main highlight of the night's event was the burial of a time capsule by Janice Ruan, the longest-serving member of the ECCB. She celebrated 35 years with the bank before her retirement about 1 week prior to the event. According to the governor of the ECCB, Mr. Timothy N.J. Antoine, in the next 40 years, individuals will have an opportunity to see the contents of the time capsule when it is opened on the 80th anniversary of the ECCB.
Wherever you are on the campus, let us pause for a moment as we consecrate the future. In this time capsule are several pieces of memorabilia as well as a message from yours truly, the current governor. I will not read my message tonight, but if you are curious about the message that will be placed in the time capsule, I invite you even now to return to the campus 40 years from now when we open this time capsule and all shall be revealed. To a future of shared prosperity and for posterity, we now insert this time capsule.
Also speaking ahead of the capsule's placement, Deputy Governor of the ECCB, Dr. Valda Henry, described the initiative as a representation of the present, but most importantly, a representation of the future. Kitishan Keandre Weeks delivered the valedictory speech at the graduation ceremony of the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus on Saturday morning, October 21, 2023. In his valedictory speech, Weeks encouraged his fellow graduates to step into their roles as the new generation of visionary leaders of the Caribbean.
We are the new generation of visionary leaders. As policymakers, we must address political segregation, regional transportation, crime, poverty, and discrimination. As professional educators, we must mold those impressionable minds. As lawyers, ensure that the law advances. As poets, narrate our Caribbean story. As scientists, chart the way for scientific developments. And as legendary sport persons, set and break world records. This is who we dreamt of becoming. This is who we studied to be. And this is who we must become.
The law faculty graduate serves as a legal researcher and Attorney General's aide in St. Kitts. Impressed by Keandre's academic excellence, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, offered the legal enthusiasts a scholarship to attend the Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica. Prime Minister Drew's recent gesture is a testament to his ongoing support to Keandre Weeks, a resident of Cayon and a fellow constituent. Weeks in 2016 received a monetary award from Dr. Drew as valedictorian of the Cayon High School. In July 2022, he was one of two persons who nominated Dr. Drew as a candidate for the August 5, 2022 general elections. Prime Minister Drew said, quote, Keandre's journey from dedication to excellence is an inspiring testament to hard work, perseverance, and unwavering commitment to his goals. His achievements reflect not only his individual brilliance, but also the strength of character and resilience instilled in him. I know him personally, and I am filled with immense pride. I have no doubt that Keandre's future in the legal field will be marked by continued success and a positive impact. End quote. Regionally,
the International Monetary Fund, IMF, says the region could face some headwinds with a slowdown in the Chinese economy. Deputy Division Chief in charge of the Western Hemisphere at the IMF, Anna Ivanova, says some countries will be more affected than others.
Many countries in the region have connections with China, and of course the slowdown in China will affect countries, but it is very different. For example, a country like Chile has stronger connections with China, so this will be a bigger impact on countries that have stronger trade ties with China. But it is a global factor as well. We see that the growth, of course, will be lower if large economies like China are slowing and the real estate market developments were a factor. It has been perhaps a little bit better than we expected, but it is true that the slowdown in China is a big important factor for the region.
While the IMF has maintained its GDP outlook for China at 3% for this year, the fund has downgraded its 2024 outlook. In April, it set GDP for next year at 5.2%. That's moved to 5% in the October outlook. There are also concerns about a slowdown due to a crunch in the Chinese real estate market.
Guyana's National Assembly will meet next Friday morning for an extraordinary sitting. Clerk of the National Assembly, Sherlock Isaacs, has revealed. The notice, which was sent to parliamentarians, stated that the urgent sitting of Parliament is to consider a motion in relation to the ongoing border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela. The parliamentary sitting comes on the heels of a meeting between President Irfan Ali and the opposition leader Aubrey Norton. The two sides have agreed on a unified front in relation to the border controversy. On Wednesday, the National Assembly's Committee on Foreign Relations agreed to the framework for the motion on the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy, which will be tabled next week. Opposition Member of Parliament Amanzo Walton Desir said there's a whole lot more that needs to be done to inform and educate the public locally about the border controversy.
That there has to be a robust education program for the youngest child. Our intensity as it relates to educating our population has to match that of Venezuela's. They're taught from nursery that Essequibo belongs to them, and we have to see that concomitant intensity here. We have to also point out that this matter is currently before the ICJ, and therefore there's no derogation from that as it relates to Venezuela's call for dialogue, etc.
The motion to be laid in the National Assembly, among other things, will seek to increase public awareness on the controversy and have continuous education about the historical and current facts surrounding Venezuela's claim. Venezuela's planned referendum and its approved questions for the referendum later this year have set off a wave of criticism, with the government of Guyana accusing Venezuela of trying to annex parts of the country's territory in contravention with international law. CARICOM and the Organization of American States have also rejected the referendum, stating that international law strictly prohibits the government of one state from unilaterally seizing, annexing, or incorporating the territory of another state, and noted that the referendum will open the floor to the possible violation of that fundamental tenet of international law.
Internationally,
Now, at least 60 people have been detained in Russia's Dagestan region, and that's after hundreds stormed the main airport in Machakala on Sunday to protest against the arrival of a flight from Israel. Now, they breached security, with some reaching the runway. Witnesses say they stopped passengers and checked their passports looking for Israeli citizens. The government of the largely Muslim region has voiced support for Gaza. Let's get more of this from Daniel Hawkins, who joins us live now from Moscow. Daniel, what more are the authorities saying about this incident at the airport?
Well, we are expecting Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, to hold a meeting in about 2 hours' time on what took place in Makhachkala. That could see some sort of statement. In the meantime, other Russian officials have made their position very clear. The head of Dagestan region, Sergei Menakov, has said that this violence was unjustified, that swift punishment will follow for those involved, but also said that he believes provoked and encouraged by what he describes as the enemies of Russia, claiming that it was, quote, Ukrainian nationalists that had encouraged this violence at the airport to take place. That was a position echoed by Maria Zakharova, the spokeswoman of the Russian Foreign Ministry, who claimed that it was, quote, the Kiev regime that had orchestrated this violence in order to discredit Russia's position on the international arena. Now, Russian officials claim that it was in particular one Telegram channel, the Utro Dagestana, Dagestan Morning Channel, which has tens of thousands of followers, which had incited people to take to the streets and go on this rampage in the airport. They claim this is a channel linked to Ilya Ponomaryov, who's a former Russian state deputy who fled the country to Ukraine back in 2014 and has since encouraged violent opposition to the Kremlin and its policies in Ukraine in particular. He has since denied that he's had anything to do with this channel since last year. That's not something Russian authorities have bought, making their position very clear that this incident was provoked from abroad by this Ukrainian trace that they say was behind this quite shocking unrest at Makhachkala airport.
Even with whatever happened at the airport, it's still going to focus back to Russia as far as Israel is concerned and Russia's own foreign policy stance when it comes to what's been happening in Gaza.
Well, indeed, Russia's sought to very much play a balancing act here and not take a direct side in this conflict, though it's very clear from statements we've heard from Moscow that it sees the root cause of the problem and, indeed, of this recent escalation as the injustice suffered by the Palestinian people and the denial of the statehood they've had over the decades. Moscow has sought to play the role of a mediator in this conflict, or at least be seen willing to do so through its UN resolutions, through its statements calling for a ceasefire. It also wants to prevent an escalation of the conflict that could harm its regional allies, Syria and Iran. Russia, of course, has ties to both sides, the Soviet Union being among the first countries to recognize Israel when it was formed, yet having very close ties to the Arab world, again dating back to the Soviet era and to pan-Arab nationalism, indeed to modern-day Middle East as well, through the OPEC cartel. So Russia very much has been part of Middle Eastern peace efforts before, being part of that peace quartet, but its role compared to the US and EU was rather limited. So this escalation of violence, Russia has seen as an opportunity to cement itself as a mediator in the Arab-Israeli conflict through what it sees as its more nuanced position, trying to understand the anger felt among the Muslim world, the global Muslim community, the Russian Muslim community at the violence in Gaza, without justifying any sort of violence or unrest, both on home soil and beyond. So very much an opportunity for Russia to present itself as a state that seeks a more balanced position in contrast to its Western counterparts.
Daniel Hawkins for us there in Moscow. Thank you.
Long lines were seen snaking across Acapulco on Sunday as residents there queued for hours for the most basic of necessities after Hurricane Otis ravaged the Mexican beach town 4 days ago. It's one queue for food, another for water. Many are angry with a lack of help from the government.
We need food and water. They brought water, but look how many of us there are. There are so many of us. It's not enough water.
Where is the government support? Look at the queue. They tell us that the water will be delivered at 8 a.m. We have been here since early morning, since 5 a.m., risking being mugged, because now there is mugging going on in the streets.
Stores have also been looted as the situation grows increasingly desperate. At the line for food aid, this woman pleaded for help from the international community, saying she had nothing left. Not all of us looted, she said. We really need help. There's nobody here. Hurricane Otis ripped through the region as a Category 5 storm on Wednesday, wrecking much of Acapulco as well as cutting communications and power. The government said on Sunday the death toll soared past 4 dozen, with several people still missing. It also said more than 270,000 homes were knocked down in the state of Guerrero, one of the poorest in Mexico. Though the government has sent troops to begin the cleanup, officials admit it will take a long time. In a video message, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador promised people electricity would be restored on Monday night, at latest by Tuesday. This will allow gas stations to start distributing fuel, he said. That would be most welcomed by this funeral homeowner, who said the lack of electricity meant they couldn't preserve the bodies of the victims. Analysts have estimated the cost of damage could climb as high as $15 billion. Officials said, apart from homes, Otis also destroyed some 600 hotels and condominiums in the tourism-dependent city. López Obrador said the ministers of finance and the economy, along with most of his cabinet team, would be in Acapulco by Monday. But as pieces of broken boats and smashed yachts along the bay showed, the task of rebuilding the city and its economy is set to be a major challenge.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. Win FM weather.
12:23, and the weather is brought to you by Cable and Wireless Business.
Did you really think cybersecurity was just not for you? Think again. The threat is real, and everyone can fall. It's time to get ready and protect your business. At Cable and Wireless Business, we are the top local partner with global cybersecurity expertise. Cybercrime will not stop us. Visit stopthenextattack.com for more.
As a trough moves further westwards away from the area, we'll continue to see a gradual reduction in cloudiness and shower activity as a more stable EMS settles across the area during the next 24 hours. So today's weather, partly sunny skies in general with a 40% or moderate chance of a brief passing shower. Tonight, fair to partly cloudy skies with a 40% or moderate chance of brief passing overnight showers. Wind southeast at 15 to 30 kilometers per hour on 9 to 18 miles per hour with lighter spells overnight. Seas 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Sunset today at 5:41 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:09 a.m. Today's temperature, a high of 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and tonight's low, we're looking at 73 degrees Fahrenheit. That's your weather brought to you by Cable and Wireless Business. It's 12:25 and Voices continues right after this.
Did you really think cybersecurity was just not for you? Think again. The threat is real, and everyone can fall. It's time to get ready and protect your business. At Cable and Wireless Business, we are the top local partner with global cybersecurity expertise. Cybercrime will not stop us. Visit stopthenextattack.com for more.
Radio never sounded like this.
Radio never sounded like this, sounded like this.
98.9 WIN FM.
WIN FM.
Are you ready to transform your bedroom into a haven of dreamy comfort and affordable luxury? Well, get ready, because Horswood's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store Bedroom Set Sales Event is here. We believe that your bedroom should be your sanctuary, and we're making it easier than ever to make that dream a reality. During the entire month of October only, get 20% off all cash purchases on a wide range of exquisite bedroom sets. Hurry in today to Horswood's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store and let us help you create the bedroom of your dream. Don't miss out on this incredible dreamy comfort, affordable luxury bedroom set sales event and get 20% off all cash purchases, putting comfort and luxury within your reach. Remember, at Horswood's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store, we make dreams a reality. Don't wait. This event won't last forever. Visit us now. Terms and conditions apply.
By the sound of that song, you know we're back, and it's just about 27 minutes done after the midday hour. Hope the guys up there enjoying a great lunch. Nobody sent me any today. Sister Henry, kind of hungry. What do you have going on there? Anyway, we're back with the second half of today's presentation of Voices. We want to thank Chris Collins for being on board with us as per usual. Give us a heads up as to what's happening up there in your neck of the woods. We know there are things going on between Venezuela and Guyana. I am looking for a news item that will address aspects of that. So, as somebody said to me during the luncheon break, we are looking at the situation between Israel and Palestine, and we have things happening in our neck of the woods. We're not even speaking about it, but if anybody have any information and would like to speak to that issue, we would be happy to have your calls on that subject. We're 6620989, 7620989, and of course there's 4660989 for anybody want to weigh in on that topic. We're back, of course, with Africa during the second segment of today's program, and he's a person that's a constant contributor that speaks about the, I would say, issues most, that's what I'm looking for. I forget. Anyway.
I am considered to be not just a Pan-Africanist, because the Pan-African, the perspective of a Pan-African is not in its totality. I am more like an Afrocentrist.
Afrocentric.
Yes,
that's the word
because it covers not just our struggle for freedom in terms of what we have been, the Ma'afa, that's the word, is the equivalent of the Holocaust. And the Ma'afa really chose the Holocaust by millions and millions and millions. Mrs. Henry always elaborate on speaking about the trans-Saharan slave trade, which we doesn't really cover. But we speak mainly of the transatlantic slave trade because we were the ones who really suffered that. Not to negate the fact that our ancestors was sent across the Saharan desert also. And there's an adage that they coin, like, if you want to really get to a certain route, because there are oases in the desert, and there are desert trails similar to the Silk Road that went all the way into China. And they say that just follow the bones of our ancestors, because there are enough bones that can line the Sahara.
Do you need a map?
Yes.
There's also a Trail of Tears in the U.S. with the Indians. So there are those aspects of our history that people gloss over, but the information is there to be reminded.
I gave an analysis earlier, and I want to come back to that. I want to reiterate. Just to simplify the concept of cosmology and the God concept, and the way we take it little, we belittle it, and we don't know that there are entities, there are spirits out there that had their own assignments, and nothing disrupt those assignments. So therefore, whereas Yahweh, according to those who wrote the narrative, and it is said that the hunter will always be glorified from the hunt. The hunter, he will always be glorified, because the hunter tells the tales. He tells the tales that he go out to hunt, and he always kill the lion or what's an animal he pursue. Right? Not knowing that there are times when the animal will really get the better hand of the hunter. Because there are some wives would wait for their husband to come home for a long time, because those guys go for hunting a month or 2 months, hoping to come home with a catch, and they never return to their family.
Do we have a call on the line? Okay. We apologize to the caller. We thought we would have had you for the contribution.
So until the hunter.
Go the caller, you live on Voices. Go the caller, are you there? You're live on Voices. Okay, good challenge.
Until the hunter, until the lion writes its own story and tell the true narrative. Because we have a lopsided narrative. Until the lion do so, the glory of the hunter will always be glorified. Because the lion, you would say it's an animal and it cannot write. But the hunter can write because he has the intellectual capacity to do so.
We go to the phone lines. Go there, caller. You live on Voices.
Good day. How are you?
I'm okay. Yourself?
Wonderful. Give him thanks.
Beautiful.
We speak a lot about Africa. I don't know if you yourself or Africa have ever been to Africa. But it's amazing that we brag and boast that we are from Africa and we're African descendants. Yes, that's what we have been told. History sometimes seems to be a little puzzling. But whether we believe it or not, we looked at it and called ourselves African. Now, the people from Africa, even those who come here to go to Windsor School, you know, they don't consider us as African. So how could we go back to Africa and own Africa when they who are in Africa do not consider us African?
Is that your question, your premise?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
You have more to I don't see you as Chinese. I don't see you as a Chinese national. Even if you were born in China, you will not be accepted. Right? You're of African descent. It doesn't matter where in the world you're birthed. You are of African descent, whether you accept it or not. And if you're ever put to the test in any part of the world, you will be identified as an African. Because that's our heritage. That's how we look. So whether we have Nigerians here who don't accept us, that does not take away from the fact that you are African descendant. You're not Caucasian. You're not Chinese. You're not East Indian. You're African descendant. You're St. Kitts Nevis national of African descent. So I don't need Nigerians or any African to come and tell me in St. Kitts that I'm not African. I don't care what they think. I know what nature says about me. I know my father. I've seen pictures of my ancestors. One of my maternal, was from Anguilla. Fair complected. We understand that. Anguilla was a place where people went to get house slaves because of their fair complexion. Right? The Portuguese and other races intermixed with them, and so you got from Anguilla all this nice hair, as we call it, and this nice clear skin, etc. So there are certain percentage of African in them. But looking at me and looking at you, Kennedy, there's no way I'm going to accept you to be Chinese or Caucasian or even Mongolian. You're African. Descendant. St. Kitts Nevis born, but you're African. Whether you want to deny it or not. And so much of our history has been given to us in a negative manner that we accept brainwashing and we reject anything remotely resembling Africa. I'm not one of those. Unapologetically, I tell you I'm African. I'm going there shortly. And there's none of them in Africa will look at me and think, well, oh, that's a Chinese. I will blend right in. Good enough for you? Your friend gone.
Okay. I want to get back to the analogy that I made earlier.
Yes.
Because it's very, very critical. It's very important. I use my wit as like a professional medical doctor, but I got this from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, where the priest, the kes, as he would call, would tell us to picture ourselves as doctors treating patients. And so that stayed with me over the years, since about 1981. It stayed with me. I use the analogy as the prime minister giving portfolios to his ministers, because the God concept and the Messiah God and what the assignment, the allotment was for other entities, other spirits. You might say they are lower entities. Some of them are called angels. Some of them are called orishas. Some of them are called voodoos. Some of them are called by different name in the different culture. They are given those assignments.
Let's go to the phone lines and take this call. Call a good day, you're live on Voices.
Yes, you all leave me waving the balance on from one thing.
I thought you were there, sir. Sorry about that.
I was there. I was with you all until the end. What I'm asking is how can we claim our rights to Africa? Because, yes, we say that we are African. We believe we are African. But where is our place in Africa? How can we fight for it? Because, the people who owns it, the people who have it, are not giving us our share of it. So how can we get our share?
That's not
Even
true.
in America, you find those Africans in America. American call them African American.
Mm-hmm.
How can we own our share in Africa?
It doesn't mean that because you're African descendant that you have a share there. Right? It doesn't mean that you have a share there. But it's go ahead. Let me see if I get your point. You say that how can you own your rights to Africa? Is Nigeria and Ghana now offering incentives for Africa to come back?
Ghana does, but also now Kenya is fast forwarding the visa free to all the diaspora and even across borders.
Yes.
Because there was a conference just recently with the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Kenya, where they have relaxed that now. And then because President William Ruto of Kenya, he made the point that Europe, the 28 nations in Europe, gave us these borders, but now they relaxed their borders where any European person can go into any of the European space. So here is it, the justice with these borders, and we are, and as a result of the European Union relaxing this space, you could see the incentives for that. But now with us, probably 5%. So President William Ruto, he made the case for that with Somalia. He made the case with that for the DRC, and other countries in Africa is doing likewise. Ghana, they because they're on the West Coast, they had an advantage of doing certain things, but it's not just restricted to Ghana. We need to be on the same page.
For Africa, for our nationals, they sent to come home, and they will assist you in setting up. And many people have taken the invitation.
But I beg to differ with the point you made. There's a space in Africa for me. It's just that the bureaucracy to get there and to own it, because apart from the political leaders that was established through democracy and, a model, maybe one might say it's like a European model, there are indigenous kings on Africa who are the landlords. In fact, the word Dogon means landlord. So there are indigenous peoples, some of them were sidelined, but there are some kings there who has our best interests at heart. And there are lands. Some of them, they give lands to the government for mining and certain spaces and so. Because a lot of the lands are in their hands, in their authority. So they will give land to the political administration to do other things. But there are lands there, and there is a conglomerate of kings that are doing that and have preserved lands for us. But it's not like to say, well, you're going to squat on lands. You're going to just go and be a squatter, and you're squatting on lands. That's not how it's been done, but there is a space in Africa for me.
Anywhere you go. But I'm saying I'm not going to go there and be identified as well, Who are you? What's your heritage? No, you identify I'm home. And who don't like to hear it, I don't know. That's the thinking.
That's the beauty about us. I am not going to do no DNA tracing like that and so I can claim any part of the continent, albeit the continent is very dynamic, very, diverse. And I just cannot just go and set up shop here, there, or anywhere because my way of life and their way of life and adjusting to their way of life and the linguistic, the differences in the language and all of that, I will prefer to choose a country that speaks English and learn the Swahili, because the Swahili is being taught now in South Africa, even though it is from East Africa.
Our students Mandarin.
Right.
Anyway, I want to say good afternoon to my good friend up there in New York, Bag of Sugar. I hope all is well. And I know you're listening to the chat about Africa. You have intentions of going there shortly, so let's see.
So the analogy I made about the Prime Minister giving assignments to his other ministers is like the Most High that has created and given assignments to other entities to do on a daily basis. The Most High doesn't get involved in everything every day. that assignment has been. The times and the weathers and the weather patterns and the seasons and all of that, they have their own entities that have their own assignment. The waters, the rivers is all living entities. The trees, the bees, the animals, the birds, all of them are living entities. And all of them, when the tribulation time comes, they all mourn and groan to be, have a better way of life. When the earth suffers, all of us suffer too.
What do you think there's this pushback from people at large? Some of I won't say that, okay. People in general seem to have this pushback against anyone who claim that they're Africans or want to embrace the African heritage. They have a problem with that. And they'll quickly tell you, I am not African, I am Kititian. But these are the same people that you'll see with their wigs that and their different things that make you look like a different race. Socrates sang about it some years ago, and the name of the song was They Ain't See Africa at All, where he spoke about people claiming other people's heritage. The dimples come from her husband's side because his father mixed with British. And look how the eyes this because it's Irish. Indian blood, yes. As a matter of fact, when the East Indians came here, the Guyanese came here some years ago, Jakat came, lots of women decided to have children with them because they want this trade here. But Charter says the baby black like a voodoo doll, but they didn't see Africa at all. The baby black down to his eyeball, but they didn't see Africa at all. But have you have dimples and your straight nose and this and that. And they tell you your lip to tick, you're this and that, you're Sambo, you're this and that, because we were taught that by a people as part of the indoctrination, by the mercenaries who were here claiming to be missionaries. They're mercenaries, all part of that indoctrination. So for people who get offended because I speak about what happened in Sunday school, you can get that narrative, you can keep it, I have no problem with that. But I have a right to re-educate myself and learn more about the cultures that were suppressed in a manner to make me a non-person and to make me, a subhuman and this and that and that. Nonsense, I'm not accepting that.
Agree about the indoctrination, and also it's because of the inferiority complex also, because
that we go with.
Yes, because what happened, if you were to have a frank conversation, you knowing yourself and a work person having a frank conversation with any one of those from the subcontinent of India, the Indian subcontinent, you go down there, have a lot of businesses in the town. They would respect you because they knew before they came down from the north as the Aryan people, they met the Dravidians living in the southern part of India. And what became...
who were they? Because the folks that don't know who you're talking to. Who were the Dravidians?
The Dravidians was one of the very first wave of people who came from Africa, from the space where they call Libya. Tripoli. The name Tripoli speaks to the Lake Triton, where Athena. It was a gentleman, a professor from Cornell University, Professor Burnell wrote a book, Black Athena, and he got so many pushbacks in academia because he wrote the book and said that before there was Athens, in fact, the very name Athens came from Athena,
yes,
who was born in on the Lake Triton in Libya, North Africa. So there was one of the Dravidians was one of the earlier wave of ethnic groups that went all the way to India, along with the Elamites people who settled in like Iran. Long time ago. You would cry like you're peeling onion in your kitchen and you're crying to know what your history is. But we are afraid of it. We are afraid of it, and the more we be afraid of it, is the more we're going to suffer.
Okay. We will love to keep entertaining calls from the public, so the numbers to call are 662-0989, 762-0989, and 662. But we're going to pause now to give respect to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Here are your Hartsford Value Mart IGA specials.
Running October 19 to November 1st.
The more you shop, the more you save.
In October, get double points on dairy and grocery non-food items.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Dry Roasted Peanuts, $11.99. Mott's Applesauce, $3.79. Nature Valley Granola Bars, $9.99. Yoplait Yogurt, $3.99. Stone Ridge Ice Cream Sandwiches, $19.99. Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $11.99. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Essential Everyday Ketchup, $4.99. General Mills Honey Nut Cheerios, $14.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $7.99. Munoz Pasta, $5.99. Almond Breeze Almond Milk, $9.99. Irish Spring Soap Bars, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, and get the double points for more rewards today.
Continuamos en el mes de octubre con los puntos dobles y las recompensas. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Let's change the topic for a short while and speak to what's happening in terms of tourism. On, was it Friday? We saw the first ship. Saturday would have docked at Port Sante. Yes, thanks for the correction. And tomorrow we have two ships docking in port, doing port tomorrow. So we can say that even though we had a ship that docked at the South Friars Bay beach a few weeks ago, we are now officially into the cruise ship season. It's long awaited. We came out of COVID. We had a soft opening, so to speak. And was Mary saying she was eating and she got some rest because of the topic. So we're going to switch for tourism for a while. Earlier we spoke about what's happening at the Southeastern Peninsula Drive and how they need to address that. But in terms of, we are now, as of tomorrow, 31st, we'll be going into November the next day, and we were told we will have a reduction in the amount of calls as compared to last year. But in looking forward to the season unfolding, what are your expectations? You were at Port Zante on Saturday. Have you observed any changes? Are you hopeful that things may be better? We are improving. What?
The preparation has been ill prepared, to be honest, and to be frank.
On whose behalf? On whose side? Your side?
I think it should be a collaboration of tourism, the tourism authority, and the other stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we spoke about Port Zante. The UDC are the ones who, has the authority to manage down there. They did some efforts in terms of the parking lot. They have, freshened up the painting and, how we used to behave, and there needs to be some semblance. So I all for that. But as we go around and we go down, and the big parking lot, which is a private space, is going to be developed, and no one has the foresight to really say, well, why? The industry is growing. The space has lived out its lifespan in terms of the expansion or the limited of the space. And I heard Marshall Henderson, the minister, spoke about what is to be done on the airport. I allowed all of that. But at least they should have get a few trucks of gravels and show the gravels on that pond over there. It's almost the equivalent to the Great Salt Pond over on the southeast. We know that every time it rains, it's going to have that water. And these are simple lay person's idea that should come to the fore and so. So yes,
so you said that
flight...
UDC should have a better management and control, well, to better prepare the area where we normally park.
Yes. Well, we realized that after the consultation that we had at the Marriott, you was present, that consultation, it is only one thing I saw and I heard, I probably heard it on radio, that they plan to initiate because they have gotten a tremendous amount of pushback. That was the limited time. And I was all for it because sometimes the onus will be on the security forces down there. I think it was 6 of them to secure an overnight park vehicle. And I don't think, bearing in mind, a lot of us live in the rural side and we have 2 or 3 vehicles and so forth. But I was not for it, not because
they're rich, but you have 2 or 3 vehicles?
Not because I live near town and I could just walk down. You know what I mean? Persons have to take the responsibilities for their own vehicle and secure them. All right? And so I go with that. I go with that. But the time that we said, I think it's Mr. Matthew raised it, about the time span, because there are other proprietors on the port that we will go and want to patronize the business, or we will bring our guests there to patronize their businesses, and then don't tell me that the lot that was assigned for me to park, it is restricted throughout 6 or 8 o'clock in the evening. No. So that was the only thing I heard from that dialogue, that consultation we had over there that they initiated. Nothing else would be initiated because it has been festering for so long, and anyone who wants to come brave the challenge of doing it, it's not going to go down very easy.
What about the arrangement now where the passengers, well, the guests, the pre-book events, they are now exiting from the far pier? They won't come down to the arrival hall anymore. They will be exiting over at the marinas end. What do you know about that?
I heard it on Saturday when I was there. My concern with that is that there are nefarious persons on island and on the ship, and we have had conversations. There are enough witnesses, there are enough references that there are nefarious persons even on the ship who will come off and be on our turf, the pier, and they will solicit to really garner more work apart from their booking. Incentive is always like that. People will always want to incentivize on things. And so let's say we were 10% or 9%. Here is it, these guys still want to bite into that 9 or 10%. We know that these things happen because the big organized peoples, no names called, but they will want to see me be employed by them. So that I am getting $10 to go to the beach now, they will want to pay me 8 or 9. It's not going to happen.
But offer your volume?
Pardon me?
They offer you volume.
They offer me volume, that's all good, right? That's incentive for them. But me as a freelance person, I want to establish my own business and grow my business, just how they have grown theirs over the years. And that's what I'm in it for. So I have started that. In fact, I did the tour in all that rain Friday. I did the tour.
Saturday?
No, the Saturday was the ship, the Friday.
Oh.
I have my guests. I took them to the water taxi this morning. Yes. I am not just in the studio talking gibberish or unpopular opinion or unpopular perspective and don't take care of my own self first. So when I get my guests, my business is small, online, or when I get my guests at the airport, especially if they're first timers, I am on it. And at the end of the week, the 6 days that they're here for, they have no regrets. I have had times when I do that, and I will get called from the Marriott Hotel. Hi, Randy. I was referred to you by some guests that are leaving today, and so forth. So I can see the dividends by me putting my best foot forward, which is my left foot, and doing what I have to do. I produce a unique tour.
So you didn't have a very slow season? You were occupied throughout?
In the off season, I find myself, I had was to devise this strategy. After I had was to push back on the farm administration to get my rights, I knew what my rights was, and I did that, and I said, no one is going to take it from me. And I am value to the product in my own way. I will be critical with them, but they know I don't mean any harm. They know me, they know I have a voice. Always had a voice.
So you're hopeful for the 2023-24 season?
I will always want to position myself to go to the airport. The minister spoke about JetBlue, that is supposed to be gracing his presence here in a couple of days' time. And I will always want to position myself in spite of the cruise ships. I tell you what, the persons are here for 6 and 8 days. I can maximize, reap dividends from that. Because not only does the tour, I will take them out for dinner at evenings. I tell them, you have to go over to Nevis. Do not come to St. Kitts and think you discover the whole country.
Okay.
And so I will encourage them to go over. That's why my guests, they are over on Nevis.
So in terms of the traveler experience, which you think would have the most impact? The overnight guests or those here for the say 8 hours on the ground? Who do you target? Who do you think will best serve the Federation? Those overnighting in the hotels or those who are here for the one-day trip?
Both. You have to do a good job. You always have to be on your game. Considering you meet these persons for 8 hours, 6-8 hours, see that as futuristic. Okay?
Let's take a call on the topic. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hello, good afternoon.
Long time to hear your voice. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I've been listening for the whole morning and in the afternoon. Yeah, my question. Africa, you like with the dispatcher thing that you don't have to go and look how it goes. The dispatcher have to bring the tourists to you? Are you good?
You have two choices. You have two choices, but go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to cut off. You're asking a question. At Port Zante, does the dispatcher have to bring the work to him, or does he have to go and get it for himself?
Yeah, because to me, I ain't see it yet because it have me in there for a while now. But I was heard about it, like it's going to be very typical tie-up and what's not and what's not. It's going to be different too when they come from under the arch and, you used to be there, look for your own work. And you
That's
say,
still happening.
Come, you can go.
That's still happening.
Huh?
That is still happening. It happened the last time the cruise ship docked. There has been no change as far as I know. We anticipate 2 ships tomorrow, and that's how it's going to play out. Those who prefer not to be at the front of the arrival hall to hustle for themselves, they're in a system. The numbers are in a rotation. And so the job that comes down where the dispatcher would engage with the persons, whether they want to go to a beach or whatever, they go to the next person in line because the numbers are in a rotation. So the next person in line would get the job. There are those who prefer to work to the front, and there are those who double dip. They work to the front and to the back. They will see what the number is. They go back and forth. But some people would rather not work to the front. Some people would rather stay in the back and observe that system.
Yeah, my concern, because I was hearing something to the grapevine. You think, Mr. Socrates, if I have my big business ages and years ago, it's right for me to get involved with the cruise ship still and getting customer for it, the tourists.
It's business.
The taxi bring tourists to me.
It is business, and if you have the means to invest, nothing wrong with that. If you have the means to invest and get your work directly from the ship's agent, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I I thought it would have been this big dispute.
No. You're national of the federation. If you have the means to invest in direct linkage with the ship to get your work come straight to you, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good business model. There are those who do not do that and dependent on who comes ashore, and then you have the dispatchers in the interim, in the middle, trying to get them to decide to go to the beach or an island tour or whatever. But if you can make that direct connection for the ship, you are better served.
Yes, but after all these days, I have two cruise ships come by my place, directly to me. I don't think, it should have linked to the when it's a cruise ship come by me, like, I know I have control of them coming to me. So, it look funny for me now to want to link with the cruise line and, getting more and more and more.
What's wrong with that?
Smaller man. Huh?
What's wrong with that? You invested in a business model that serves you best.
Okay.
If others don't want to, because they feel comfortable how they operate, it's on them.
I thought it would be different. And I don't think, because you have authority, you build something on the beach. Do you think you should own the 3/4 of the beach and, some other vendors maybe cannot go there and doing some massage, platinum here or not?
No one has the right to prevent anybody from operating their business on the beach. There is a certain property that offers private events, and on those days when ships are in port, there are times you're told you can't come there because it's a private club providing a service for clienteles. And so they say, go up the beach, go by the other places, etc. So it's raw because we don't have too many beaches where when we have the large ships in port, we can't take them to all the various beaches. So when on that day, this particular property is catering a private event to their clients, it creates a problem, right? But private events are private events. You can still go to the beach. What they say, you cannot use your facilities. And because of the layout of the place, it's very difficult. Nobody wants to drive down there and say there's a chain in place so you can't come to the beach. Go to the other beaches when this particular smaller vessel goes to that particular location. So it's a problem, it's a challenge. And they explain, well, we cater to a private, it's a ship that comes, we give them a private event. They bring the food on shore, they bring all the drinks, they don't buy from us, but they want a boutique experience. We are in a position to provide that for them. When the large ships are downtown, we get 2 and 3 downtown, we don't really bother with that, It's when no other work is available and we're told we can't go to the beach. So it's kind of dicey most days with most people. But I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate that, Bernice. Appreciate that. Any other call at the moment? So you wouldn't know what the lady was alluding to, that particular beach club. We don't have a lot of beaches. As a matter of fact, the one on the other side is on the Atlantic side. We don't send anyone to the Atlantic side because there's a very deceptive undertow. And so the limited beaches we have on that particular day, when they cater to this particular cruise line, there's a challenge for others. Good day, caller, live on Voices.
Hi, good day, Socrates.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
I just happened to tune in there a few minutes now, and one of the things I want to make an input on is the investment at the airport. It's time now that we invest in a whole new terminal, not the existing one, but another terminal, a much larger terminal.
Okay.
This existing terminal we have now, we've outgrown it for years now, and we are trying to attract more airlines and so forth. If for example, if a next large airline comes in, let's say, Spirit or WestJet or another large airline, where are we going to put them?
You'll have a capacity issue?
Pardon?
Will we have a capacity challenge?
Yes, at the existing terminal, because you realize when we have like Caribbean Airlines and Inter-Caribbean, you see you chuck them in the corner or they put some down there by WINNMedia and so forth. You understand what I'm saying?
I haven't heard chook for a long time.
Pardon?
I haven't heard the phrase chook for a long time.
Okay, I'm kind of old school. So. Anyway,
right.
but yeah, so we if we had to, well, I'm sure Africa knows exactly what I'm talking about. At the airport on a Saturday, in the season especially, it's somewhat chaotic, to say the least.
Congested.
When we have all these flights that we normally have on the ground. If a few of them are late, then you have 5, 6, 7 flights on the ground at the same time. I forgot what the square foot capacity to people ratio is at this existing terminal we have, but it's too small, especially when we have arrivals, and it creates a bottleneck. When you have arrivals, and it creates a bottleneck when we have the departures. We've already upgraded the port, the cruise terminal down there. You know, we have the second pier, so the capacity is built out down there.
Right.
But at the airport, we need the capacity to be built out. Our closest competitive neighbors have already upgraded Antigua and Martin.
That's correct.
We need to upgrade now. We have enough space to build a terminal that's much larger than what we have now.
Where would you extend it? Where would you a brand new one, different location?
A brand new one.
Where exactly would that be?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. If you're going west, if you're coming along the F.T. Williams Highway and you're going towards Sandy Point direction,
yes,
all of that space that you see there, one thing they will have to do, in my opinion, is move the fuel farm and put it on the other side of the road where the what you call it, the old factory had a water tower or something like this.
Yes, okay.
The pipe for the fuel is already under the road already. It came all the way from Newtown.
So extend it?
They don't need to necessarily extend it. All they need to do, I'm sure you travel to Europe and a lot of these American airports. You don't see a fuel farm close by. It's far away. The tap is actually in the tarmac underneath the wing of these planes for most of these larger airports. And all they would do is bring a small pump truck, connect in the floor or in the ground, remove the lid, connect, and then pump it up to the planes right there. We could do something similar. I don't think that's very difficult to do. All they need to do is move the tanks on the other side of the road, create an entrance on the F.T. Williams Highway. We have a lot of land there. And even when it comes to the private jets, right, on the west side of High-End Jets, there's a little bit of room there they could develop and put a few private jets. Or they could actually develop further over by the scenic railway side to put more private jets. Because on that area where the jets park now, it was developed many, many years ago to how to park 6 private jets.
Well, I think I heard that there's a sizable investment in terms of money's $1 million. I don't want to recall the exact amount, but I don't think, based on what you're saying, that's incorporated in the immediate plans. So, of all the folks who are listening to you now, who do you think should be taking notes of this?
Whoever the powers that be, the government, CASPA, whoever. I mean, we could go there and get funding. And the thing is, to repair this, to repair whatever we might borrow, all I need to do, like other major terminals around the world, commercial spaces.
Rent out.
Okay, you know when you're going through, especially like Miami and so forth, you can't step 2 feet without seeing a store or a restaurant or something.
But they got a population for that.
If who has
you will have to get the volume of passengers coming in and going out. So
Socrates, if you build it, they will come. Every time we put down a major hotel in St. Kitts, you realize we get more airlift. When Marriott came here, we got a lot more airlift. American came in, you realize we don't have Eagle. I mean, Eagle is out now. But Eagle was supplying us before, and then you had Park Hyatt coming in, you have Four Seasons. So if you build it, they will come. who says that a lot of these airlines now out there not coming because we don't have the capacity at the terminal to host a lot of these people? If we would have been a problem too if JetBlue had come on a Saturday. That would have compounded the capacity issue even more.
Okay.
If we had that. So we cannot think like that, otherwise we wouldn't have to have another cruise ship here out there.
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. So when you get the point across, I'm not saying no. I'm not negative on that.
I know, and I understand. But we still have to put the point across to some people who are listening out there and say, boy, we can't do that. We ain't gonna. We have this space and we cannot lose it. Where there's a will, there's a way, and we need it. Otherwise, we're gonna suffer. And another issue again, maybe not you as much, Socrates, but Africa could tell you, especially on Saturday, where the taxis park is insufficient down at the bottom.
Yes, we
And,
expanded
the
area
road
also.
and the grass. They have a lot of land to expand. They have all that land behind there. They could expand the parking lot. And if they to build a new terminal, it would need a bigger parking.
That's correct.
As I said, the space is over there. They could put a 4-story building, put administration on the top, and they could work it out. It's easy to do.
It sounds like you work here. You could do well in the Department of Planning.
I have a backbone in it. But
no, you're talking.
That's a whole different.
I had to get it out to you, man. I had to pull it out to you.
Aye.
Anyway,
if I can respond to some of the points he made, valid points, and we're going to juggle the seaport and the airport. Well, the minister spoke about even JetBlue not having the space and would have had to really encroach on maybe American Airlines or other airline for the desks, and so forth. Yes, he spoke about the parking down there. Even where we park, there's so many of us. At times they maintain cutting the grass and allowing us to open the space. More than 9 out of 10 times, they have the train prohibiting us from going just down there and parking. But I think there should be an overall comprehensive plan, but we scrap plans accordingly. Each administration will come in and scrap another plan. I was elated to hear Minister Henderson spoke about the hangar.
Yeah, go ahead.
Spoke about the hangar that they plan to continue with from the previous administration. And rightly so, because vehicles, aircraft will want to repair, do the repairs and so forth. After flying for so many thousands of miles, coming here, there are little hiccups here and there, and they will want to do some repairs. So why not a hangar? I have heard the pushback about the hangar, and she allotted it, and they're going to continue that. But they always scrap plans. The Gillard Meadows area, there could have been expansion.
Extended over there?
Yes, long time ago. But someone came up and whatever, politics, what have you, we do need housing also, but we need to think things in a holistic way. We know that we need the expansion for the airport long time ago.
Have a contribution. It says that the minister said a second terminal. And the person continued her words, don't know if she intends to keep both running, new and old. I thought the choice of words was significant when she discussed a new terminal. Did you hear that? In the presentation?
Yes, I heard that. Where? I don't know. These are the modalities we still have to work on.
Well, the young man who called the last caller, he has a background in planning, so he can probably...
I was trying to pick up his voice. I know he's a taxi driver, but I didn't really. Anyway, yes. So even I love us to park down, get the tractor. It's raining now. Get the tractor, cut the lawns, and I love us to go down there and park.
Extend the parking?
Yes, for now.
That's a temporary fix, but
yes, but it's a whole comprehensive plan for that.
JetBlue arrives on the 2nd of November, is it?
Yes.
I'm supposed to be part of that inaugural reception.
Talking about inaugural, I always had a problem, and I'm going to say something which is going to be unpopular. if there are 2 ships in the roadstead, like come tomorrow,
for
2
tomorrow,
ships,
yeah.
yes. But I always thought that as small, doesn't matter how big the size is. Gracing Sinkis's roadstead as the first inaugural ship for the season, I always thought that it should be port down
Port
there,
Zante.
and then go up afterwards. If it initially, they will say, it's a small ship, let it go up there because they're accustomed to go up there. Yes,
Up
but
there
Grace,
where? People who don't know what you're talking about wonder what does up there mean.
up there at Fires Bay, right? Yes, we know that it's a small ship, and because when the larger ships are in town, we're glad for the little one to go up there so that you can have bigger capacity. No, I take all of that, but down there, down south, down south. You're correct, Jam. So you realize how I read the Africa, right? I don't say down South Africa, I say up. Because this is where the oldest fossils. And have you ever heard about Jamso, the Adam calendar? That's an English word, Adam. The Adam calendar in Mpumalanga in South Africa. They attribute it to Adam. And Adam's supposed to be the first man, right? See? That's why I wear the Africa like this. Egypt is down north. Because the lowlands, the desert is emptying out into the Nile emptying out into the Mediterranean or the Great Sea. So it is down from the highlands, the mountainous areas.
So we got some geography. So in terms of the future for tourism, as the last caller alluded, we are in a point where we should be expanding, upgrading the service, upgrading our capacity, and ensuring that we have in place the service, the level of service that can accommodate the larger airlines. He thinks that is one of the issues. If we have it here, people will come. I think it's a fair assessment.
Yes, it is a fair assessment. There's work to be done, a lot of work to be done. We have to collaborate, and whatever our role is as stakeholders in the business, we just have to, go along the flow because the benefits can be derived to us. As a fraternity, you're a president of one of those 3, and I am freelance, but I work with you guys. I attempted to sign up on. I have not accomplished it totally as yet, but that's my intention. Yes, JetBlue is expected to come here in a day or 2. We welcome that. We welcome the expansion. All I'm telling to all the taxi drivers to continue to enhance on your own personal product and reap dividends. One of the things I don't do, I used to, and I say I cannot belittle myself. The way how some of us behave in the space there.
You mean the reception area in the front of the arrival hall?
Yeah. And sometimes the guests, the visitors, they realize it. And like anything else, they will encourage it for entertainment. Sometimes they say, he, or she, and, making it,
You're speaking about when the guests arrive and they come outside of the arrival hall, and there's a gathering of taxi drivers or tour operators there trying to attract business from the arriving guests. And they offer competing prices for the same tours. And so the guests will say, okay, he offered me this, he offered me that, and it becomes a free-for-all. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, sometimes some of the time, one individual will get their attention, and it seems like they will buy into the price, $25, the $10 to the beach, or what have you, that individual would have established with them, and for some reason, someone will give a sign or something, hand signal or something, and then all of a sudden, they will say, okay, he's offering me a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm. When I'm faced with that, and people tell me, well, it's cheap outside, I say, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I have no problem with that, but you get what you pay for. Because if you're looking cheaper, you shouldn't come back and complain, well, I didn't really enjoy my tour because this and that. If you're looking for a good experience, we can offer you here. You have your choice to go outside. I have no problem with that.
So where is the dividends? Because mind you, I have heard figures about can we get 6 or 7%, and I have gotten guests back. I have gotten guests who comes in from the airport and will say to me, I was here on a cruise ship a year ago or 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And where is the dividends from we doing that, if that was to be the case, where I would have cheated that guest because of the low cost and not reaping the dividends of choosing St. Kitts as another destination when they decide to come here for 6 or 7 days on vacation. What does that speak to our product? You are taking away from the country because of what? You took less money and you gave them a fast drive.
You're diluting the product, and that I sometimes try to explain away. During the busy season, it looks very lucrative. You see all the vehicles out on tours, blah, 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 mega ships in port. It looks very lucrative. And you're then encouraged to go and invest in the industry. You take a mortgage on a vehicle. You're going to put Zante. Day 1, you're there, you didn't get a job. Day 2, day 3, you didn't get a satisfying job. Day 4, you start to hustle and cut the price.
Desperation kicks in, right?
You know, I did have occasion to ask a former CEO at one point in a meeting if there was any feasibility study done to determine whether or not the industry can take more drivers. And they said, no. I said, well, why are you bringing so many? Because it creates a situation down the way there's not enough work that everybody can be evenly and well served. So there are days when some people go home without and some people go home very full based on how you see them drive off, but they're offering the price for tour, which is 25, they're offering 15 plus drinks. And you can't compete with that.
Our standards is high. My capacity is small, but I would not sell drinks in my vehicle. I might have a bottle or two of water, depending on my $35 or my $40 an hour, which I normally charge.
Mm-hmm. That's hourly
and
rate,
I give
$40 an hour.
Yeah.
For tours.
But I say, well, there are other folks on the island who provide that service, and once I'm doing an island tour,
you patronize the various vendors
who really need it. Mm-hmm. I had a tour, like I said, Friday, and when we got around to Black Rocks, there was 2 lone ladies down there. And I heard the comment from one of my guests, like, wow, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They deserve something.
But then the lady was here early with us. She also has a bar at Black Rocks, and she'll be operating there tomorrow.
Right.
So
I leave that. I let the money disperse amongst the island, because
that is a better way.
For more than one reason, at the end of the day, I don't want no one to begrudge me because, well, I deprived them of, you know what I mean, a sale, a drink or two sale, because I am
Speaking of which, there's a certain operator, just like a clown, who goes down to Black Rocks, park right where the other vendors are operating, and sells drinks there. There was one lady who complained about it, and he sent his guests to her, and when they had gotten the drinks, they said, well, he said the drinks here are free. It is totally wrong. You have a license to operate your vehicle, you shouldn't be selling alcohol. They say, but on the scenic railway they serve. We don't know. But you're operating a tour, you should not be having alcohol beverage on your vehicle to compete against the bars, especially the vendors who are down at Black Rocks, depending on you to bring guests down there so they could patronize your bar, buy some souvenir items, etc. But you park right there and you sell drinks, competing with those folks down there. It is totally wrong. And I think, as a matter of fact, I asked the lady to record him. Record him, because he's not really wrong, it's disrespectful.
You notice from beyond Brimstone Hill and around, it's only like 1/3 or less of our visitors goes around. And for me to want to take something from the vendors around there.
It's wrong.
It's not nice.
I
And,
just see like to spill
and
around.
something needs to be encouraged. We don't know. It's marketing. But the Carabel Batik area, and they are enhancing on the Wingfield and everything. You can see the building, enhancement is going on. They're promoting their own thing, and you will find that a lot of the vendors are there with the barbecues and the different, the coconut and everything.
Mhm.
It's all about that. But the other part, 1/3 of the island, is neglected.
Gibbons Hill, we stopped there to help the vendors make something from the souvenir item they would present. Some people bypass, but it's a courtesy and it's understanding that they all feed from the same trough as us. So we go there, we spend 10, 15 minutes, and it's a nice area to get pictures.
Yes.
Then there's Black Rocks.
Yes.
Right? So we need to be mindful that there's the one there by just as you come out of Stone Fort, Bloody Point.
Yes.
There's that one there also. Vendors who depend on the drivers to come around and help them, be part of the tourism, food scraps, so to speak. But we got about 1 minute before we wrap up today. Any last word before we?
Well, appreciate you inviting me, and I have taken up the invitation to come. I have gotten out the jitteries out of me. So
yeah, jitters. That's where you were before.
I came to the studio quite a while with Patches Liber, and
it's a long time ago.
I decided I'm gonna get climatized to this area because I need to.
You have a lot to share, and you normally call. Sometimes you get in on the program, sometimes you don't. So say, come in, let's have a chat, and you do sort of this. We want to thank you for that.
Appreciate that because we can diverse and we can digress into other topics of interest.
We are out of time, so I want to thank you for taking the invitation, coming and sitting and chatting with us. I want to say to all the viewers and listeners around the world, it has been a pleasure being here with you once again. And hopefully on Wednesday, we'll be in studio with the members of the tourism board. They're planning a big thing down at Pump Bay. They want to create a black sand strip where every Sunday have activities, so they'll be here to speak about that. So stay tuned and be edified. In the meantime, it's a peace, love, and a much brighter tomorrow.
Thanks.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is